Good morning. Thank you for joining me for another 5 good minutes with the Word. I'm Barry Bryson, and we're continuing our study of Psalms by other people. Psalms by someone who was named, but not David nor Asaph. And we're looking at the songs of the sons of Korah, and we're looking at Psalm 84 today. Um, Over the years, I've gotten to know several people, a lot of people who have moved to this country from other countries, and you have, I have had a higher number of those kinds of folks here in the DC area than we ever had back in Ohio. Um, and they come to this country from another country, and in their other country, they were an elementary school teacher, a physician, uh, a professor of music. Um, um, they were a lawyer. They had a profession that defined them, gave them a great sense of identity, that helped them know who they were and who their and what their place was in society. But then they come to this country and they are not qualified in the eyes of the law. They're not certified in any way to do those things, and they end up, you know, stocking shelves at Walmart and becoming an Uber driver or a substitute teacher or working in landscaping or something. Happy, blessed to be here, but they've lost that sense of identity, and they yearn for that. And you talk to them long enough, and you get a real sense of that. That's this psalm. The sons of Korah, when we started to talk about them before, we talked about Korah's rebellion, but his sons were faithful, and they were singers in the chorus at the temple, and they also had the job of being gatekeepers of the temple. Psalm 84 is clearly written during the captivity when there is no temple, and there are no gates, and there is no communal worship in God's presence, either in the tabernacle nor the temple. And this is written by someone who is longing for those missing the courts of praise, missing, the temple courts and what they used to do, what their role was, and wishing they could have it again. Psalm 84. For the choir director on Gittith, a psalm of the sons of Korah. Gittith, we don't know exactly what that means, but that's the tune. It's to the tune of Gittith, a psalm of the sons of Korah. Even in captivity, they're continuing to write hymns. That they do, and they're continuing to do. How lovely are your dwelling places, O Yahweh of armies, Yahweh of hosts. My soul longed and yearned for the courts of the Lord. My heart and my flesh sing for joy to the living God. The bird also has found a nest, and the swallow a nest for herself, where she may lay her young. Even your altars, O Lord of hosts, my King and my God. How blessed are those who dwell in your house. They are ever praising thee. If that doesn't make you tear up. How blessed is the man whose strength is in you, in whose heart are the highways to Zion. Passing through the valley of Baca, they make it a spring. The early rain also covers it with blessings. They go forth. They go forth. Excuse me. From strength to strength. They go from strength to strength. Every one of them appears before God in Zion. O Yahweh, God of hosts, God of armies, hear my prayer. Give ear, O God of Jacob. Behold our shield, O God, and look upon the face of your anointed. For a day in your courts is better than 1,000 outside. I would rather stand at the doorway of the house of my God than dwell in the tents of wickedness. For Yahweh God is a sun and shield. Yahweh gives grace and glory. No good thing does he withhold from those who walk uprightly. O Yahweh of hosts, how blessed is the man who trusts in you. There is a longing for what has been lost. I just Verses 3 and 4, he talks about the swallow. Birds find a place to live, swallows find a place to make their nest. And clearly they've made their nest in the ruins of the temple. And he wishes he could be there too, in verses 3 and 4. But he can't. How blessed is the man whose strength is in you and whose road back home is in their heart. I don't know that anybody ever wrote a more beautiful line um, in the book of Psalms. He talks about passing through the Baca Valley, which is an actual place, but it's a play on words as well, because the word Baca in Hebrew means weeping. Um, and when you pass through, the highway is in your heart, and so in his heart, in his head and in his heart, he's going back through. He's making his way back home. You know, think of all those home songs that have been, you know, good to be back home again. All those songs about home that we have, be it ever so humble, there's no place like home. And he's making his way back home in his heart, and he has to pass through the Baca Valley, or the Valley of Weeping. But the weeping becomes a spring of blessing, and in his heart he can go from strength to strength because God is his strength. It's not about a place, it's about God, and God is still there, and God is still hearing. Doesn't mean he doesn't miss home. um, and he keeps calling God the God of armies. I love that too, because they're a captive people. They have been destroyed and taken captive by the armies of Babylon, but God is the God of armies, and he's still the God of armies. I love the way he the names he has for God. He calls God God of armies, God of Jacob. He's still the God of his people, um, and God who is the shield, our sun and shield. Yahweh is our shield, our sun and shield. Um, Look upon the face of your anointed. Is he talking about, he's looking forward to the Messianic age? Is he looking forward to a restoration of the Davidic throne? Well, that's only going to be restored in Jesus. There won't be another king on the throne of David other than Jesus. Or is it all the above? I don't know. But he's looking forward to a time when there's a temple and there's a throne. Verse 10, the day in the court is better than 1,000 outside. I'd rather stand at the doorway. They're the doorkeepers. Don't forget that. I'd rather stand at the threshold, at the doorway of the house of my God, than dwell in the tents of wickedness. Um, it's such a beautiful, it's such a gorgeous line, and it's filled with love and longing, and nostalgia, um, and disappointment, but also faith and positivity and hope for the future. It's all here. Um, God's our sun and our shield. You think of a shield as something that protects you or shields you from the sun, but God is the sun. But he's also our shield to protect us as well, you know. He doesn't keep anything good thing for us. How blessed is the man who trusts in you. It ends with a beatitude. And he's not accusing God. He's not um, crying out to God. He's not begging God. He's blessing God. I trust in you. How blessed is the man who trusts in you. He's blessing the man who trusts in God. Um, and so he's offering this beatitude, not a word of despair, but a beatitude to everyone who will trust in God. I love Psalm 84 so much, and I hope you do too. When we're together again, we're going to look at Psalm 85, another song by the sons of Korah, different from this one. And we'll look at that then. Thank you for joining me for what is now nearly 10 good minutes with the Word.